Welcome back to Kitchen Sink Pack. Today we're going to go ahead and make drill? No, not a drill. Pump jack. Pump jack can allow us to get loads of oil pretty easily, but we're not making HPM pump jack. We're just going to make a Buildcraft pump jack because it's cheaper, and I don't want to waste my time on something I'm probably going to only use for like 5 minutes, probably. Even though the HPM stuff is very useful, in fact, for making diesel, without going through a bunch of stupid hoops that I'm not even too sure about inside Immersive Petroleum, because I've never played Immersive Petroleum. I'm probably not going to use it for this playthrough, but I probably should, honestly. Considering the fact that it allows us to do some crazy stuff, like make an actual diesel generator, I think. Well, it's just an Immersive Engineering mod. I'm not too familiar with those mods. Although I am familiar with the Immersive, or no, HBM mod. I'm very familiar with HBM mod. On the 1.7.10 version. On the 1.12 version, there's a lot of things that have been confusing me because they're just stupid and make zero sense at all. But that, regardless, it doesn't matter. And by the time this comes out, those things will probably be way better. At least I hope, because I'm recording this like 5 months in advance now. So I genuinely hope that the actual extended edition gets fixed to a degree, because it is not very good right now. Alright, so I'm jumping through the air. Oh, spaceship. Hit the spaceship. I really want to make a fueling station. That'd be really cool. Like an actual refueling station for the spaceship, but no. Maybe magic. No. I'm definitely not going to use one of those things that makes the magic oil transport for like dimensions and stuff. Don't want to do that. It sounds stupid. And it is stupid because there's no actual real equivalent to being able to magically transport fluids and energy through one place to another. And I do not want to do that because it's dumb. So, unless it makes sense to do it. Like, here, with the actual wood oil, or no, not even with the wood oil. There's no wood oil. Stop saying wood oil. There is only oil here. But anyway, with the oil stuff, we might actually do that, because the oil's like miles away, and I don't want to have to build pipes that far, so that might actually be something I do. Speaking of which, we probably need to... Yeah, with the Buildcraft pipe, we're going to need to make some new wires and stuff, probably. Because Minecraft joules do not transport through mechanism pipes to the actual Buildcraft machines. So you cannot do that. But if you have Galacticraft or some other mod that allows you to convert things into Minecraft joules, then you can bypass it. Or at least that's how it used to work. I'm not even too sure if it has changed or not. I'm not too sure. But anyway, we should have enough to make these tanks, which are just made with glass. And you get one for each one. And there's not really much in Buildcraft that's interesting other than like the quarry and stuff. I mean, it makes the game different. Like, if you were to play the game with only Buildcraft, what would that be like? I have no clue. And these are just trying to be Greggy, but they're failing at it. But this is Icy too, so it's like a Greggy, but like halfway there. It's halfway to the Greg. It's not at Greg Tech levels of Greg, but it is what basically led to Greg Tech existing, from what I understand. And if you play very old versions of Greg Tech, or like if you play Greg Tech on what is it called? What is it called? GT5, I think? Greg Tech 5. If you play that one, it actually, for 1.7.10, you will need IC2, I think. I don't remember. It's been a while. I don't exactly know too much about that, but usually you have to install the IC2 with it. That's all I know. But we will try out the actual method of getting the energy through a Minecraft joule pipe, or whatever they're called. So we'll take a look at them. Minecraft, what is it called? Yeah, these guys. Kinesis pipes, which do not have any actual limits on their energy that they can have flow through them. So the golden kinesis pipe is like just ridiculous, so we'll just make one of them and see how that works. That's a transport pipe, which will work for this, and this will go like this. And if we combine the two together, we get this. A golden transport kinesis pipe. And then if we have this hooked up, boom, we have a pump. And now, if we hook the pump together with all of this stuff we have created, we should be able to pump out oceans and things. Let's try it on this pond here. so I can demonstrate the power of the pump. I don't think it's actually as powerful as I'm trying to say it is, but let's see if it works like this. You see, it does not work like this. You will need a different type of cable for this. And with previous playthroughs, I've used a variety of different cables. Now let's try out the actual... no, let's not try that out. I believe this will work with the actual Galacticraft cables. So I will need to find sheep, which is a pain because there's no sheep nearby me. Or is there? Maybe we'll find... There's only bunny rabbits. That's all we've found so far. Which is actually useless. Like, legitimately the most useless thing to find. So let's go ahead and set up our oil pump somewhere in a second. Let me get some fluid pipes too. That would be helpful to have. Like, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I said 8. Then I can pump all the oil into all the barrels all at once. Perfect. And I'll just transport it over in barrels. So they can hold fluids. And time to find some sheep. The heck is this thing? Oh, we've seen this like a dozen times. There's polar bears, no sheep. No sheep for miles. I have found 2 sheep so far. And that's all I found. But they are giving me bones, which I do need bones as well for other stuff. So, I probably could just grow the actual hemp plant and get the actual string from that, but it's not something I'm interested in doing right now. I want to try to get the actual wool easily and not have to do extra steps. Easiest way of getting wool. Go to forest. Find sheep. Chop sheep in half with an axe. Easiest way to get wool. Not even sure how you can get wool from chopping a sheep with an axe in the first place. But it works. And it's going to work for me too. Yeah, if we can find an extra sheep out here. I found like 3 sheep so far. Now this is it. I found all of the sheep. Here, chop. Get chopped. Chop. Drops even more meat, I think, in this version. Because I don't remember them dropping so much meat. Chop. 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 And I have chopped up 9 sheep so far. And now I have actually way more than 9 sheep. That's 11 sheep. But that's good enough. Now I can fly off into space. Not really, but basically the same thing. Not really at all. Actually, not really the same thing at all. Like, literally not at all even close. I need 3 aluminium ingots, and I do not have those. I've ran into the spaceship again. Every single episode I bump into the spaceship. It is not even finished. And I still need to work on that. I will work on it later, probably. But this kinesis pipe is actually useless for us right now. Unless we're going to power it with, like, some kind of wood oil setup. Right, probably gonna do that. Not even gonna try. Right, how much salt do we have? We have a lot of salt in there. So much sodium chloride. Nice. Aluminium. Where is it at? Yes, it's right here. I'll be able to shred this into powder. 3 pieces of that. Inside the pulverizer. Yes. And I only need 3 of these dusts. But I'm making 6 of them. Regardless of how many I actually need. And I will throw all of the stuff in there. We really need to get an induction smelter set up somehow. Because they will make 4 times the stuff if we set up a blaze farm next to it. But it's not worth it right now. So once you have your aluminum, you need 3 ingots of it. You put it straight in the middle of the crafting table in a row. Then you place 2 rows of wool. So that will be 2 rows of 3 wool. You'll need 6 total. And then you'll end up with these guys. And these guys are amazing. And what do you do with these guys? Well, you go all the way over to the place where the oil's at, and you build a massive tower. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why Buildercraft does the oil wells the way it does, because the actual oil is like, you know, it's like up in the air and stuff. It's like kind of floating and stuff, like weirdly. So I think they mean for you to build a giant oil tower, kind of make it look kind of cool or something. And then have this guy at the top. I don't know. I don't know anything about Buildcraft, but it's interesting that they have the oil like this where it just shoots out of the ground. It's kind of like the Greg Tech Community Edition unofficial oil, where all of the oil shoots out of the ground as well, but not as high. So now it's time for me to build up all the way with a giant pillar like this. But you can make a nice tower if you want to actually make something that looks good. Because dirt pillar, while it might be efficient, is not the coolest looking thing in the world. And also, this is a very effective way of getting... Now, this is 2 blocks wide, which is weird. Because that means that the oil deposit could be on either one, the actual, like, bottom of it. Anyway, that gives me this thing, and then I have this thing hooked into this side. That's not actually providing it with power, is it? Or is it? Oh, it might actually... No, it's not. I will need to grab this. And do not let it fall down. Do not let it fuel you, because this oil... There we go. We're now draining the world. And as you can see, once you start draining world, you will now have oil. And we need to actually set up barrels for storing this oil. Like this. We need a wooden barrel here. And if you break this, you'll get the shards of those stuff, and you'll be able to shove it in. But I don't recommend doing that. It's kind of a waste of, you know, your time and stuff to do that, because this machine does all of the oil stuff for you. And it will do it very effectively if you give it the time to do so. So this should do all of our oil. I have now pumped most of the oil out of the ground. Well, not all of it, but most of the oil is now in these barrels, should be. Yep, and the rest is going to remain in the pipes because there's not enough space for it. So that is all of the oil we can get. Which 12 barrels worth of oil was actually a lot of oil, because, well, actually no, it's 7 barrels of oil. So that is 7 times 12,000 is 70,000 of this. And you can use other barrels from other mods for this as well. But I'm using these because they're cheap and easy to make. And I like cheap and easy to make. It's better than expensive and stores a lot, but, I mean, this is cheap and I can make a lot of them. Like, I mean, it's dirt cheap. It's cheap as dirt. And if it's cheap as dirt, then I will definitely be making lots of these.